Hello, welcome back. The penultimate Jank Pack Thursday for 2023. Take a drink. If you know, you know. Last week, hey, Toyotathon is back. Last week, we had a minor Christmas miracle from For the Pools with some of the old school Coca-Cola advertising cards. There's 2 weeks left in December, though, and it's been an interesting year for Jank Pack Thursday, so let's see. We shuffle up, and let's see what we almost go out on. See you on the other side, everybody. We spin. Let's take a gander and just see who gets the win. And coming up. All right. From the lovely young woman who has given us so many packs, the Craftsman, vintage motorcycles, other stuff still remaining in the box, comes Series 6, I believe is why I marked that, of antique tractors. Honestly, cannot wait to see what is in this. So stay tuned, because I hope you can't either. And we are over at the table. Time to hunt for, I wrote down, because I do have 2 series in there, Series 6 of antique tractors. So let's go hunting for them. Homies, cars, Overwatch, Coke, New Kids, Bingo. Oh, wait. Is that 6 or VI? 6. Yes, because I know there's also Series 5 in there. Ageless Iron. Antique Tractor Collectible Cards. The final series. Brought to you by Goodyear. $2 a pack. Oh my, this is going to be something interesting. So what do we got? 1997. Produced by Successful Farming Magazine for Goodyear. 12 cards. I really legitimately don't know what's going to be in this pack, but it's going to be awesome. And as I say, this pack brought to us by the same fantastic young woman who has provided Craftsman, the bingo cards that were in there, the San Diego Zoo, the Animals in Danger, all kinds of the weird variety has come from her. So thank you very much again. And now, let us sit back and enjoy 12 antique tractor cards. This is going to be awesome. Ageless Iron. Almost looks like a kid's toy. The Gibson Super D2. Oh my God, there's a lot. In the early 1950s, Gibson updated their garden line with a new one-bottom plow model. As opposed to... The predecessor of the Model D Super was a simple affair, minus even a hood. Oh. The Model D, was sold for 2 years after starting in 1948. Gibson Manufacturing opted to dress up the Model D, creating the Super D in the early 50s. However, that tractor kept the previously employed 5-horsepower Wisconsin Model AEH single-cylinder, that's a lot, 3 3/4-inch bore, don't know what that means, engine. Power was transferred to a 3-speed, 2 to 7 mile-an-hour transmission through a combination of 4 V-belts and a chain drive. The Longmont, Colorado-based firm offered a full line of tractors after World War II, ranging up to the 40-horsepower Model 1 before leaving the market entirely in the mid-1950s. Tractor owned by John Johnson of Granby, Missouri. That's a neat-looking little thing. I like that. I like this. This is going to be fun. Holy crap. See, this is what I always wondered. Like the old, we got the J.I. Case Plow Wallace K. Like, how did that... Traction. I mean, back here, you get... Look at the... I'm not even going to call them treads. But the front. What give? Is it like a chimney stack? The Wallace Model K was a very advanced tractor for its time. What was the time? Okay. This design was first seen in the Wallace Cub, in 1913. The Model K, introduced in 19, was the successor to the Cub, featuring such updates as enclosed gearing and a constant oil bath. That's good. Plus extensive use of roller bearings. Power was provided by a case plow build, valve and head. There's the 4-cylinder bore-stroke engine, featuring removable cylinder sleeves. That engine remarkably pulled over half its own weight, or 2,782 pounds. Wow. In the maximum drawbar test at Nebraska Tractor Test, J.I. Case Plow Works Company of Racine, Wisconsin was the sister company of J.I. Case Thresher. J.I. Case Plow would be purchased by Massey Harris in 1928. Owned by the Wallace family in Winchester, Illinois. Well, that's ironic. Oh, wait, maybe it's not. Maybe that's the descendants of the owners. That's a cool-looking little thing. There's what coming from not the country per se, but that's the kind of tractor you always pictured. The Ford NAA Golden Jubilee. The Golden Jubilee was more than a commemorative model, but it represented Jesus, calm down, Zach. Represented significant improvements over the preceding model, the Model 8N, whose sales were suffering from competition created by Harry Ferguson's Model TO30. The Model NAA was given an entirely new vane-type hydraulic system, a 4-inch longer wheelbase, and 100 pounds more in weight than the Model 8N. A Ford-built Red Tiger 4-cylinder engine powered the Golden Jubilee, generating a rated 20 drawbar and 27.5 belt horsepower at Nebraska Tractor Tests. That overhead valve 134 cubic inch engine drove a constant mesh transmission with 4 speeds from 3 to 11.5 miles an hour. Owned by Mike Larson of Marshalltown, Iowa. I always loved, it was either that, maybe there'll be one in here. If there's one in here, we'll wait. Again, were the back tires meant to almost, cultivate? The Hart Par 2240. By 1923, the year Model 2240 was introduced, the Charles City, Iowa-based firm had nearly a quarter of a century of experience building tractors. Hart Par was noted for selling well-built, hard-working machines, and the Model 2240 was no exception, being capable of easily pulling a 4-bottom plow. Power was provided by a Hart Par-built engine with 4 horizontally operating cylinders. There's your bore stroke. The engine was 2 Model 1020 engines set side by side, each having its own carburetor, but operating from the same magneto. I'm sure if I understood engines that would make sense. Equipped with a 2-speed 2.25 and 3.25 transmission, mile an hour, the Model 2240 sold for $2,250. Wow, in that time period? That's a ton. That's a ton of money. What in the world? That's interesting. The J.I. Case Threshing L. These are really interesting. 1929, Case Threshing of Racine, Wisconsin upgraded their tractor line with the 4-cylinder Model L. All right, so 1929. This particular tractor would be the example for Case tractor design for the next decade. Power for the Model L was provided by a Case-built valve and head 4-cylinder engine rated at 1,100 RPM. When run at the Nebraska tests in 1938, the Model L generated a rated 36 drawbar and 42 belt horsepower. Selective sliding gear transmission offered 3 speeds from 2.5 to 4 miles an hour. 1931, Case advertised 4 tractor models, which included the models L, C, CC row crop, and CO orchard. I love the fact that, cards not of sports people just put so much actual good, proper information that what in the world is this thing? The Lanz Bulldog PS. Wow. 2-cycle engine, a standard, okay, so it's German. All right. Standard of European power plant design from the 20s to the 50s, had the ability to burn different types of low-grade fuel. Ooh, interesting. This type of engine features fewer parts and was easier to repair than the 4-cycle diesels employed in the U.S. Lanz's Bulldog PS. Oh, in the U.S., period. Lanz's Bulldog PS utilized a hot bulb ignition system to start its single-cylinder engine rated at 750 RPM. Lanz started manufacturing in 1911, building its first semi-diesel machine in 1921. Most Lanz tractors were standard tread models, although the Mannheim, Germany-based firm offered row crop and crawler versions. 1956, Deere & Company purchased Lanz using the firm's plan as the base of its European operations. I'm wondering if that's what these things were row croppers. I don't... Well, there you go. Like, how do you get it to the field? Like, unless you just keep it permanently parked on the field. The Alice Chalmers E2035. At a new low price, the Alice Chalmers 2035 puts big reserve power at your command, touted by a company advertisement of that time. Even then, the tractor was pricey for its time, but offered many state-of-the-art refinements like a 4-cylinder I-head engine and utilized an Eisman high-tension magneto and Kingston carburetor. This power plant, rated at 930 RPM, generated a maximum 33 draw and 44 1/3. What a third? Belt horsepower, which was adequate power to lug a 4-bottom plow. The Milwaukee-based Alice Chambers Company introduced the Model 2035 in 1922 and kept it in production for 8 years. I don't understand. I mean, if anybody, either engines or tractor familiarity, what is the difference between the horsepowers? Whoa. IHC Mogul Type C. It looks like a caravan. International Harvester. Oh, okay. Was producing tractors as early as 1906. The Type C built between 07 and 13. That's ancient. Was rated at 15 horsepower, which was generated by a single-cylinder engine at 240 RPM. The tractor's direction was regulated by shifting the engine on frame rolls. This friction drive was later replaced by two forward speeds transmission system. IHC's roots go back to the 1902 merger of McCormick and Deering. The new firm kept dealership network separate, producing Mogul tractors for McCormick and Titan tractors for Deering. The Mogul line was complemented by 12 and 15 horsepower Type A and 20 horsepower Type B. God, and it is amazing how state-of-the-art friggin' tractors are now. The Plymouth R38. That's like old school, like the first riding mower. Plymouth tractors trace their roots back to the Plymouth Truck Company, organized by J.D. Fate in 1909. Fate later joined up with the Root Heath Manufacturing to form Fate Root Heath in 1919. In the early 30s, the firm started building tractors designed with the Plymouth name. The Model R38 was designated so because it had a 38-inch tread width. That's easy. It was powered by a 20-horsepower Hercules 4-cylinder engine rated to pull a 1-bottom plow. Plymouth bragged that its machines were the most revolutionary type of tractors yet developed. Fate Root Heath renamed their tractors Silver King after a legal battle with Chrysler over the Plymouth name. Interesting. Pardon me. That is interesting. And this is a freaking tank. This literally is a freaking tank. The Cletrac 25. Okay. Cleveland, come on. This type of steering function, much like individual brakes on conventional tractors. The Cleveland-based firm also equipped their crawlers with a planetary gear system that delivered power to both tracks. That's funny, even when turning. Accounting for the Model 25's short 8.5 feet turning radius. For a tank, that's actually kind of impressive. You'd think it would be like a city. The Model 25 sold for $1,850 in 1932, the year it was introduced. That price brought a Hercules 6-cylinder L-head engine rated at 1,250 RPM. Generated 23 drawbar and 30 belt horsepower in the tractor test. Oliver Corporation purchased Cletrac in 1944, which continued to build Oliver Cletrac crawlers identified with the OC designation. I have no idea where Ephrata, Pennsylvania is. I'm assuming probably somewhere out in the middle. 3 cards left. I like it's like an old the Ford rods. The Ferguson TO30. 3-point hitch system. Let's go. After Harry Ferguson and Henry Ford parted company, the Scottish-born inventor decided to build his own machines, coming out with the Model TO20 in 1948. He equipped his Model TO30 with a Continental Model Z129 I-head engine, 129 cubic inches of displacement. Decent-sized engine for back then. Rated at 1,750 RPM in drawbar use and 2,000 RPM at the belt, generated 19 drawbar and 28 belt horsepower. A hydraulic power unit, PTO, and 6-volt electrical system with lights and starting were featured equipment. Okay. There were over 60 implements on the market built for use on the Model TO30, testifying the tractor's popularity and flexibility of use. Nice. Okay, this is kind of what I always pictured. It's like but not that design. It was the huge rear tires and like the 2 really tiny wheels, but right in the center. That's, what I always kind of imagined. The Shepherd SD3. The Hanover, Pennsylvania, let's go, based firm got its start in diesel engines in 1933, offering a Shepherd diesel retrofit engine for IHC Farmall Model M tractors. 1949, Shepherd decided to enter the tractor market, offering 3 different models, designated SD1, 2, and 3, featuring 1, 2, and 3-cylinder engines respectively. A 4-cylinder Model SD4 was introduced in 1953. The SD3 employed a valve-in-head engine rated at 1,650 RPM and capable of pulling a 3-bottom plow. Adjustable rear tread was standard equipment, but an electric starter, hydraulic power unit, and PTO were optional. I'm not sure what PTO is, other than paid time off. And, what the world? New Ultra Torque Radial, Goodyear's Ultimate Performance R1 tire. It's a freaking Goodyear propaganda card. Well, there you go. There's a couple of different farm radials that were available in the market in 1997, probably throughout the late 90s. Good. Outstanding performance in heavy, moist soil. And on that note, we're going to just stop right there. And once again, I left my note cards. Hang on. I even made a mental note to myself. I said, Zach, don't forget the note cards. And then I did. So we'll set up there. We'll get this. Community shout-out is Alex at Jay's Mix at 777 subs. And a fun channel. Lots of great mail day videos and the infamous box and dice. I love me a good random pack opening. And he gets to open some stuff that we are going to sorely miss in the near future. A lot of old opening day. And trust me, we're going to be missing that sooner rather than later. But at 777, absolutely deserves to be a lot higher than that. He needs the K, so let's get him on the road. Let's get him to 800 first, and then onward to the K. And last week, fantasy football, I'm an idiot. I might be literally one of the worst fantasy football players ever. The one week I decide to sit Baker Mayfield is the week he is the only quarterback in history to have a perfect quarterback rating at Lambeau Field. Not that it would have mattered anyway because I got shellacked nonetheless. Opponent this week in the consolation bracket, Tylox the Mighty. Love me some Tylox. Shout out to him. And now for my search and rant. The Steelers continue to circle the drain, as is the way. But I'm honestly at this point, Metallic Storm, that makes up for most everything. Let's be honest. It's time to gut the team. Let's start making the trades. And I can already hear people when I say the next statement that I'm about to, like, what are you, out of your mind? I think it is time to trade TJ Watt. My rationale behind that is he did not stay in his position one play during the Colts game. Rushed the quarterback every time, so they filled that giant void with a running back. He is into business for himself, and he will garner at least a first and a second round draft pick, which we sorely need. Stay tuned for my next who they should trade later. But let's put it this way, when the head coach says we're a fundamentally unsound team and I don't have the answers, time for you to go too, good sir. So let's get it. We got us a Metallic Storm. We're going to put that over there. Hopefully it's ironic. It would be if it one of the 3 we had. But we're looking for the final couple cards. Hunting Tails, we sadly do not need, but they are always fun to look at. This guy we've seen before, the Snag. I was like, the Sinker? No, the Snag. We've seen this guy before. Cracked. Come on, we just need a couple. I love this card. Love this one. The Cauldron, we have. We've seen him before. Sorceress Summons. Yes. I think we've seen that one before as well. Land's End, we have. Oh, come on. Secret of the Stars. No. We've seen the Wolfman. Blast. I love this card. We've seen it before, but this is the Keg of Rum. And our Metallic Storm. God, it is beautiful. It is MS2 Battle of the Lords. Heck yeah, we need it, and I had a feeling, so I brought the Sharpie. So we're one Metallic Storm away from completing the set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so cards from completing the base set. And that's going to do it. The Metallic Storm shines so bright. These go on the pile of doubles to do something with later. And we're going to wrap it up by shouting out once again, Alex at Jay's Mix, Tylox the Mighty. Go check them out, sub them up, give them some love. And thank you guys for joining me for another 20 minutes of whatever this is. But no matter what happens on Thursday, it's always fun, although from what I've been hearing, slightly less fun when I'm not eating something horrifying. Anyways, well, I'm going to wrap it up here because we're right at about the 20-minute mark, and I do tend to ramble on at the end. But thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Thank you for everybody in the chat, and continue to have a fantastic December. And see you in a couple days for some Christmas opening that was pre-filmed. Take care, and we will see you then.